Looks like, MK, that the president has just walked onto the red carpet here with the First Lady, Melania Trump, as some of those flashes go off from the cameras there as he stops there. And looks like he's taken some questions. Perhaps the pool microphone will pick that up. Let's listen and see.
Mr. President, court.
So it's a little hard to hear him because he's not so close to that pool microphone. Our Jillian Turner trying her darnest to get him to come a little bit closer to that microphone, and maybe he will in just a few moments here. Josh, I want to just ask you quickly, as he walks this way and gets a little bit closer, these folks, these actors that may be protesting or boycotting tonight, what should the message be tonight from the president to them?
Well, I think this is one of the president's favorite musicals. The hope is that this is a bipartisan night, that people can actually come together in Washington. As Ari was saying, you don't see that many moments when the president actually goes to a restaurant or goes to a play. These are supposed to be exciting in Washington. They usually traditionally have been kind of exciting moments. I don't think that's going to be the case. It sounds like there's a little bit of dispute over whether there are actors for the musical that have decided not to perform in front of the president. But hopefully there's not disruption. We're already seeing the chaos in California. We're already seeing, there's a little bit of a split screen tonight with the chaos, the riots, the protests in Los Angeles with a night on the town by the president. Here's hoping that this is a much more calmer scene in Washington than what we're seeing in California.
Well, that is a juxtaposition, right, Ari? I mean, Democrats are they're calling him this dictator who wants to rule California and take over, the king, as they call him, and yet he's here with his lovely wife having a night out on the town.
Democrats keep picking the wrong issues on which to make their stance. This is such a losing issue for them, what's happening in California. I think Gavin Newsom may think, the governor of California may think he's helping himself with the most far-left slice of the Democratic Party. I think he's killing whatever prospects he might have to win a presidential candidacy. It's too much for the American people when there's violence in the streets, when there's arson and looting.
Ari, I think we can hear him now. Let's listen in.
It was burning to the ground, just like it was a number of months ago with the housing. We would have had a big problem there. If we weren't there. In fact, the police chief said so much. If you look at what his statements were, he said, we're very lucky to have had them. If we weren't there, that city would have been burning to the ground, would be burning right now.
Mr. President, if this turns into another summer of unrest, what are you prepared to do, sir?
About what?
If this turns, well, the protests have spread now to 16 cities across the U.S. If this turns in...
That's what you're saying. Do I believe you? I don't think so.
Well, I got that from the Fox News green room.
What we have is a situation in Los Angeles that was caused by gross incompetence. They didn't have the police to handle it. The police were asking us to come in. They were very late. We had to go in to save a lot of ICE officers, as you know, who were held up. They were holed up in a building, and they were being attacked. And the military went in, the National Guard went in and got them. The police weren't able, unfortunately, to move fast enough, but we moved fast enough. And while we were there, we stayed there, and we stopped tremendous destruction and death. We stopped death. We stopped a lot. And if you look at them cutting up and breaking up the sidewalk and getting it and using it as a weapon, did you see that with the curb? Where they're breaking up the curb, nice curb, and they break it up with a hammer because they couldn't get the bricks in. You know, they got caught with the bricks. We have them under arrest. They were bringing bricks in to throw at our police, to throw at our National Guard, and to throw at people. And they couldn't get them in because we got them. And after we got them, they went and took a big hammer and started breaking up the concrete sidewalk and curb. And they were handing it out to people to throw and drop on cars. You saw what they did, the damage. So if you don't do something about that, there's something very wrong. We are going to have law and order in our country.
Are you prepared, sir, to send the National Guard to other countries?
Who is?
It's been reported that some actors may be boycotting tonight.
I couldn't care less. Honestly, all I do is run the country well. The economic numbers, you saw them today, they're setting records. We took $88 billion in tariffs in 2 months, far beyond what anybody expected. There's no inflation. People are happy. People are wealthy. The country's getting back to strength again. That's what I care about. And we're going to have a safe country. We're not going to have what would have happened in Los Angeles. Remember, if I wasn't there, if I didn't act quickly on that, Los Angeles would be burning to the ground right now. Thank you.
Madam President, what does it mean to you to be here tonight?
How excited are you for the new era under your great new leadership with Ambassador Brunel?
Well, he's a great guy. Rick is great. He's always done well for me. And the new era right here is going to be something. The bones of this facility are incredible. We're going to make it really great.
Is Les Mis your favorite show?
So that's going to be great.
Mr. President, is Les Mis your favorite show?
Say it again.
Yes, a question from Newsmax. Could you provide an update on Iran? We're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are being. We've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Mr. President, are you worried?
They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to
Mr. President, what did the regime...
We're not going to allow that.
Mr. President, can you tell us a question on the musical? Have you seen the musical before, and do you identify more with Jean Valjean or Javert?
Oh, that's a tough one. That last part of that question, that's tough. I think you better answer that one, honey. I don't know. I've seen it. We've seen it a number of times. It's fantastic. I thought it was just about our first choice. That's what we got, and we have others coming. Other great ones are coming.
Phantom of the Opera, maybe?
Mr. President, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Maybe.
Be so quiet, Jeff.
I have a my question is on trade. Would you be willing to extend the deadline for trade talks with these countries?
I would, but I don't think we're going to have that necessity. We made a great deal with China. We're very happy with it. We have everything we need, and we're going to do very well with it, and hopefully they are too. That was a very big one. As you know, we did with the UK, and I tell you what, we're rocking in terms of deals. Now, at a certain point, we're just going to send letters out, and I think you understand that, saying this is the deal. You can take it or you can leave it. You don't have to use it. You don't have to shop in the United States, as I say. So at a certain point, we'll do that. We're not quite ready. We're dealing with quite a few countries, and they all want to make a deal with us, every one of them.
Who's next? Who are you expecting to get a deal with next?
Well, we're dealing with Japan. We're dealing with South Korea. We're dealing with a lot of them. We're dealing with about 15 countries, but as you know, we have about 150 plus, and you can't do that. So we're going to be sending letters out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, to countries, telling them what the deal is, like I did with EU.
And are you happy with the EU right now? You were unhappy with them about 10 days ago.
Well, I'll let you know in about a week. They do want to negotiate, I will say that.
What does it mean?
Mr. President, we're making theater great again, aren't we, tonight? Making theater great again.
We are, Brian, and I'm glad you're here.
Glad to be here. What does it mean to be here tonight? Now this is under your administration, you're bringing class back, the golden era of theater.
We are. We have a golden era here in the country. You see the trade numbers came in today. They're fantastic. The deficit was cut in half over a period of 2 months. We cut what they tried to destroy our country. They were destroying our country. And you saw how good the numbers were. We took in $88 billion in tariffs in 2.5 months, and that we didn't even start yet. No, we're bringing the country back fast, and I'm very proud to have helped Los Angeles survive. Los Angeles right now, if we didn't do what we did, would be burning to the ground. And that's not over yet. You know, these are radical left lunatics that you're dealing with, and they're tough, they're smart, they're probably paid, many of them, as you know, they're professionals. When you see them chopping up concrete, because the bricks got captured, they're chopping up concrete and they're using that as a weapon. That's pretty bad. And thank you very much for your question.
You're a New Yorker, you've been to 1 million theaters. Do you remember your first theater production that you attended?
Well, a long time ago, I would say maybe it was Cats.
Cats. First Lady, do you remember your first theater production you saw?
Phantom of the Opera.
Are you a Les Mis fan, Mrs. Trump?
I am.
Great.
I am.
Are we going to munch
bringing
on
a lot
some
of them right
popcorn
now.
and Diet Coke tonight while we watch the production?
I think so. I think I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.